Hello and welcome to TechSider. Today we're going to be building the best computer that you can possibly buy for $500. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So for the CPU, I would personally go with the AMD Ryzen 5 for the 500. It has 6 cores at 3.6 GHz up to 4.1, only 65 watts, and it's very cheap, $110. So for the CPU cooler, I would go with the Deepcool AK400. It's a cheap, really cheap cooler that does the job for any 65 watt CPU. As for the motherboard, I would go with a Gigabyte B450M DS3H AMD4 up to 64 gigabytes of RAM, 4 slots, only $64. Really does everything that you need. As for the RAM, I would go with the Silicon Power Gaming 16 gigabytes, 3200 megahertz, really cheap, really low latency. As for the SSD, I would personally recommend the Crucial P2 500 gigs. It's not the best on the market, it's not great, but it does the job. As for the GPU, I would go with the Power Color ITX RX 6500 XT, 4 gigs of RAM, really high boost clock, small form factor, only $160. As for the case, I will go with the Thermaltake Versa H18. Micro ATX Mini Tower, really the best you can get for if you want proper airflow at a cheap price. $50 for a mesh front. For the power supply, I would personally go with the Asus TUF Gaming 450 watt PSU, 80 plus bronze. The computer will not go over 450 watts with those components. So really great. And that's it. This is this is the final build. $550. Great. It's a great build for the price. Would probably deliver about 60 FPS in most AAA titles. Yeah. So that's it for the AMD build. Now we have to take the Intel build. For the CPU, I would go with the Intel Core i5-10400F. 6 cores, 2.9 base clock, 4.3 boost. Again, 65 watts, $120. A bit more expensive than the Ryzen 5, but it's $10. It's not that much. As for the motherboard, I would go with the MSI B560M Pro E. It delivers everything that you need. It doesn't have a NVMe slot, which is kind of a bummer, but it's the best that you can get for the price. As for the RAM, I will personally go with the G.skill Aegis 16 gigabytes, 2.8 dual channel, 15 ms. It is a lot slower than the one I chose for the AMD build, and that is because Intel does not take faster speeds on that kind of CPU and on that kind of motherboard. As for the storage, I would go with the Team Group T-Force Vulcan Z 512 gigs at $32. That is amazing. And for the GPU, I would go with the GeForce GTX 1650 G5, 4 gigs of memory, 1.485 core clock, boost clock 1.665. And so that is it for the Intel build, $583. And that is also the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.